Statlander!
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Don't pull right down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Don't pull right down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Flashing red lights, driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive. Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight.
Welcome to the Outrage Control Zone, whatever you like to call it. Last Sunday, you witnessed our live 1 year anniversary of a episode that was, I don't know, it was off the wall. But we also said we had something else coming for our 1 year anniversary. But before we get into that, I am Kayla, the writer cast. As always, you have my partner in crime, Dango. How are you doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing all right, Kayla. I'm very excited for this interview because we got the late, great, maybe one of the greatest manager, the son of the greatest, one of the greatest WWE managers of all time, Paul Bear, Mr. DJ Pringle, a.k.a. Daniel Moody. Daniel, welcome to the show, man.
What's up, guys? Thank you all for having me. Finally, I've been sick for the last few days, but I'm glad that I'm back. That I'm able to do it for y'all.
So, Daniel, tell us a little about yourself besides being like the son of Paul Bear.
Of course, I was the fruit of the loins of yes, Paul Bear and Percy Pringle, and that's where I got DJ Pringle from. I wrestled for about, of course, almost 18 years myself under the lineage of my dad and stuff. So, I mean, anything I want to ask is free game basically on me. I don't care. I'm just like my dad. You can ask me anything. Oh, yes.
Awesome. So, what did you have like a favorite growing up? Did you like have a favorite moment or like event that you went to back in the day as a kid that your dad like took you to?
Yes, and there's a few stories that I can tell, and there's a few stories that I can't. Have y'all been watching the new Undertaker podcast that he's been doing?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know how he's been saying, "Oh, we can't talk about this right now." There's a few that I can't. But yeah, there's actually a bunch that I can really talk about. Every year, my dad would, because of course my older brother that passed away, my dad would bring a calendar home and literally open it and would roll the dice, and he'd make us turn the page or whatever. And whatever we landed on, that's where we were going for the summertime that year. And it wouldn't be anywhere. It'd be California. It'd be New York. It'd be Canada. It'd be anywhere in the U.S. But whatever you landed on, that's where you were going for 4 or 5 days. And he would take us on trips then. And of course, I got to know everybody because everybody, I'm more like my dad when it comes to talking or doing interviews or anything like that. I'm more like my dad. My brother is more like my mom. And it's really funny because a lot of people ask about it. But we would go on trips and stuff like that, and everybody would start getting used to me. There wouldn't be Daniel, it wouldn't be DJ, it wouldn't be Joseph. They'd always call me Little Moody or Little Paul, because they used to call my dad Pooh Bear on the road. So they would all the time they would call me Little Pooh Bear or Little Paul or Little DJ. But they would play tricks on me. My dad would just, he'd let us go. If, the boys were our, growing up, the boys were our aunts and uncles, if that makes sense. Whenever you go to your aunts and uncle's house and stuff like that, they're watching you or they're, making sure you're okay and not getting hurt and all that kind of stuff, all that good shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Goldust was one of them. Christian and Edge was one of them. Taker and Mankind was one of them. But we would, like I said, he would just let us go, and we'd run around and do stupid stuff and hang out with the boys and everything like that. But of course, like I said, if we got in trouble, they had their eyes on us, like right then and there. But they would just do stupid pranks, knowing that my dad's like, because my dad was a big dude. If y'all ever seen Paul Bear and his lovely lady lumps, he was a big boy. So I was always in catering all the time. Like he would always go to catering all the time. And he'd come back from eating and he'd be full or whatever. He'd go to sit down with his stuff. Oh, he would sit down and open his eyes, and I would be taped up to a fucking chair because Goldust would get me completely naked and would tape me to like a chair, and then go over there, Paul, wake up, your son's over there, and I'd be butt ass naked, taped up against a chair. They would play stupid pranks and stuff like that just to piss them off. And of course, with my dad, he would any time that if he something that he didn't like, he would get so pissed off. He'd be so, see how red I am in the face, but it's not because I'm mad because this damn light right here. See how red I am in the face? That's how about red my dad would be. He would be bright red when he got pissed off. And the boys knew it, so they did stuff just to piss them the fuck off. Because they knew, well, what is Pooh Bear going to do? He's not like he's going to run after us.
So they're just like messing with you just to like get back at him or something.
Well, no, not getting back, just kind of, just playing that funny, funny deal. And especially it was Goldust that used to do that shit all the time. But he liked to take pictures and he wouldn't do that to my boy. He wouldn't, my dad would say that. He wouldn't do that to him. And he'd go and do something and come back to the locker room, and the pictures would be sitting on top of his suitcase. And he'd go to look at it like, no, why are y'all doing this to him? He's only 13, 14 years old. Why y'all going to do this? He likes boys. I mean, he likes girls. He don't like boys. And I don't understand why you're doing this. Because of course, but Goldust doing the, what was the word that he used to say? What was it? Androgynous?
Yes. Androgynous.
Yeah. Him doing the gay character and stuff. He would do stupid stuff and take pictures and let my dad see that shit. It would freak my dad out. All the time. I mean, there's good times and there was a lot of bad times. I remember, right before Eddie died, Eddie used to take us to anytime we were in California. We would, even if we were close to Disney World or anything like that. He's like, Pooh Bear, well, I'm letting you know we'll be back in about 4 or 5 hours. And he would take us to Disneyland and just let us walk around. People were coming up to him, and of course him signing autographs and stuff like that. But he would just let us run around and do our shit. That was the same with him. Huh?
Uncle Eddie.
Yeah. And just like Edge and Christian, you would do that all the time. If there was a rink around, he knew that I was the one that liked hockey. Michael, my brother, yeah, he worked for the hockey team and stuff like that, but he wasn't like really, really big on it. I was the one that was real big on hockey, and he knew that I was a stick boy, that I'd go and work the team. And go, get the sticks for the guys, fill the water bottles up for them, and all that kind of shit. But Edge and Christian knew that, and with them being Canadian, they knew that. So if we were up north or anything like that, they would that we would go and like they would take, because I remember one time we went to one of the places that I picked that summer was in Toronto, and Ontario,
Yep.
where the Hockey Hall of Fame is in Toronto. And Edge and Christian took me to a game, and then took me to the Hockey Hall of Fame. And they have a deal where it's like a big dude. It's like going into a big movie theater that has a big screen, but they had like these big things that like this that was in the actual screen, and you would have pads and stuff on, but the screen would be players and stuff coming at you, and they would slap pucks, but they were rubber, or they were not rubber, they were what do you call it? They were really, really soft, but they felt like rubber, but they were super soft.
Okay.
Wayne Gretzky and all the old timers and stuff would just skate and fucking shoot the puck, and from like where you're looking at it, the puck comes from like the actual screen.
Oh, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah. And I, dude, like I said, I was only like 10 or 11 years old and stuff like that, so I was like real redheaded stepchild, like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
But they knew that I loved hockey, so anytime we were in a hockey town that I was at, that Dad would bring me to, we'd always do something that had to do anything to do with hockey. Uncle Eddie used to be the one that used to like to walk around a lot, and my little fat ass hated it because I was a little short little asshole that was real fucking stocky and big and shit like that. Of course, I didn't want to walk around. But
you
it was
want to ride the rides.
Yeah, but Uncle Eddie, and it was Uncle Eddie walking around signing autographs and talking to people and everything like that. And so, of course, I didn't say no. Sure in the hell wasn't going to tell Eddie Guerrero no.
You think,
of course not.
Do you think Eddie would be proud of the way Dominik's character is?
Dude, if they put them side by side, dude, it's a spitting fucking image. And it's crazy. It's just crazy to sit and think of. This is a fucking dude, the hairs on my arms that stick up. They look so much alike. And the character that Dominik is fucking doing, dude, Eddie would be so proud, man.
I mean, Dom is one of the hatest wrestlers in WWE right now, though.
He can't even cut a promo. He can't be on the stick talking without somebody booing at him or somebody, cussing at him or whatever. He can't get nothing out of his mouth. And that's what you want. If you really think about it, that's what you want. It's one thing that my dad always told me. If you're on the microphone, if you're ever on the microphone, don't let anybody tell you what the fuck to do. I'm sorry I cuss, but
you can.
Do not let them tell you what to fucking do, because if you're going to get over. You get it, and the easiest way Dad told me: get in, get off, get out.
Yeah.
And I did that 3 times. We had 3 kids.
It's okay.
I was about to say that was late. You were just like,
I picked it up way too late.
Yeah, I kind of know why, because you're up there and not down here with us.
Yeah, you're right. Kayla, got any questions for him?
Do you have a favorite story that your dad would always love to share from the road? Like, if you weren't traveling with him, did he have a favorite story that he always would tell you?
From him being on the road, or with me being on there with them? With
him being on the road.
I mean, yes and no. There was a lot that he wouldn't tell us because he knew we went to. When we started out going to school, we didn't go to a public school. We went to a Catholic school. We were all Catholic, carrying Jesus and all that kind of stuff. My mom and dad were Catholic too, but I went to a Catholic. I went kindergarten through my ninth grade year of high school, and then I went to public school my 10th, 11th, and 12th grade year. And there was a lot of stuff that they wouldn't tell us, but there was a lot of stuff that we weren't stupid about, and we found out before mom and dad was even doing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So you heard it from like other kids?
No, from like the next door or like 3 doors down from where we were at. Of course, okay. Okay. I don't know how your viewers are and stuff like that, but in Florida, marijuana is about to be legal. I don't care what anybody says. Marijuana is
Marijuana's legal in my state. Kayla, what is it for you?
Kind of. I mean, you can get it as a medical, so I guess you can say it is. So
you can go to the dispensaries here and everything like that because I'm legal. I have my card and stuff like that, and I'm able to walk in and get what I want. But what I'm getting at is back then it wasn't legal, and you had to turn around, look behind you, and everything like that. My mom and dad did that because my grandmother, she had eye cancer, and that's what they gave her for her pain, and she didn't do any of that. And everybody lived up in Ohio, and we lived in Mobile, Alabama, which is like a 15 to 20 hour drive to where my grandparents and stuff lived. And when they went up there on the special times, I knew what they were going up there to get because they always used, my mom and my dad used to tell us all the time, we're going to get our eye medicine. No, you are not going to get your eye medicine. I know where you're going. I know that smell because I'm only two doors over. I'm not that stupid. I know what it is.
What was your favorite?
We're not talking about that. Marijuana be legal, and that's all we got to worry about.
What was your favorite memory of your dad's rescuing there that will hold with you forever?
Dude, literally, truthfully, I love the point that even though he's gone, people still have the access to go and look him up and watch him. Because, it sucks with Owen and, and other people that's died and that's not around no more. They just, they've been gone. Oh, well, it's just like, we're not going to watch them. We're not watching their matches no more. Nobody's keeping up with them. But with Undertaker and Paul Bearer, there is no Undertaker without Paul Bearer. I don't care. I really don't care what anybody says.
Oh,
The American Badass gimmick was badass, and there's a reason why it was called the American Badass gimmick. But the thing is my dad was trying to save himself, so Paul Bearer would still be with the Undertaker. That's the only reason why he got out of the scene and was losing his weight and doing what he had to do to come back to be with Undertaker. Because
WWE took care of that definitely with that signing bonus that for him to help get that gastric surgery. That's one of the biggest. I know that was your big. Nothing but great for them for what they've done for your family, right?
Dude, WWE has done a lot for us, and in general, just with Dad dying, and people still keep in contact with me. They'll call me every now and then. They'll text every now and stuff like that, and it's cool to sit and know that there still is friends and stuff there that know that. Okay, on that side, they're good. But on our side, we're even better kind of situation. You know what I mean?
I know you told me off air that one of your favorite people to talk to is Jey Uso. He's probably one of your closest best friends from Guys on the Road.
Yeah. Well, I wrestled him for almost 3 years, 3 years straight. And I can send you pictures of us wrestling together for, like I said, I have so many pictures of us. And the thing is they didn't live that far away from the promoter. So Wayne, I'm telling you, Tiny Tiz was the guy's name, but Wayne was like literally only like this small. Like that's how tall he is. Like the tall is my car, if that makes sense. He was a short guy. But what fucking temper that asshole had! And he would bring Josh and Jonathan around because they lived right next door. That's where Junior's house was there for 10 years before he moved out to Las Vegas and stuff like that. He lived right beside them. So they would come over and jump on the trampoline and get in the ring and all that kind of stuff. And me and my partner would go over there all the time. And we would work out matches. And we, dude, like I said, I worked them for about 3 years before they went to
Booker
fuck.
T. You said Booker T?
Yeah, but yeah. Booker T's school out in Houston before Umaga did all that for him. I wrestled him for 3 fucking years. But the thing is what's so fucking cool, and I proved it to one of my best friends. This has been 3, maybe 4 years ago. They came to this area, and Josh texted me. He's like, "Hey man, you want tickets?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm only right down the road." And went to, walked up to Will Call and had him packing in my tickets and stuff for me to come in. And when the show was over, Josh came up to the side. He's like, no, fuck this. You're not standing right here. Come on. And he moved the gate. And he's like, no, come back here with us. And we sat and talked to him and Josh and Jonathan. Jonathan is Jay and Jonathan is Jimmy Uso.
Yep.
But they would always be together anytime that they knew Moody was coming around. And I proved it to one of my friends. I was like, "Look, dude," I was like, "I'm gonna prove something to you." I said, "I bet you $20 we'll go in there and we'll start talking about how long me and him we used to work them, and if it wasn't for me and it wasn't my tag team partner, they wouldn't be where they're at." And he got to talking about it. He was like, if it wasn't for Moody's fat ass oos, and if it wasn't his partner, blah 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 blah. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't even have a job. And we've been here. We've been here for, I think it was, I don't know, maybe 13 years. I don't know how long ago it's been.
How long have you been there now, Kayla?
He was saying like
they've been
17
there
years.
since. You got me want to sit here and Google this now.
What did he say last night? Didn't he say it was like 17 years?
Yep. He said something like that in his promo.
Yeah, that it was 17 years. 17 years that he was there, and it's crazy. It's so crazy to sit and think about that. So many people that I know that are still there, are still working, and still working their ass off. And Josh and Jonathan are one of them. And another one is I don't know if you can see it. Whose game is it? Yeah.
LA Night. Yeah.
If it wasn't for my dad, dude, I'm telling you right now, if my dad was here, he would have a tear in his fucking eye because the way the things that he taught, fucking
Eli.
Yeah.
Did he teach Eli Drake?
Yeah. I get emotional when I sit there and think about him, dude, because it's just crazy. It's just crazy knowing that my dad's gone and that it took him so long to finally get to the E, and he finally got there, and he's got a fucking strap now that they're trusting him to fucking hold. It's crazy.
He's probably
man.
one of the biggest. He's probably one of the biggest stars in the company now. Triple H trusted, dude. And Triple H trusted him, and Triple H saw it when he was in NXT.
Yep. Man, my dad would have a smile on his face, man.
I feel like your dad was around. Your dad would be back there as one of Triple H's men.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be one of those people back there with him in creative. Him and Paul.
I mean, he did that stuff for a while too, and he got to a point where he got burnt out because my mom was dying of breast cancer and stuff like that. But he just got to that point where he was just like, I can't do it no more. He's like, I just can't be somewhere that I love that I can't do anymore, and he got away from it. I mean, me personally, I understand that, and just like we were talking off air, and yeah, yes and no. This is about my dad, and about me and me wrestling, and you know everything back in the day and stuff like that. But like I said, off air, I did want to mention that if anybody understands about walking away from the business, I do because I'm 800 as of today, 886 days clean and sober, and I walked away from wrestling just like my dad did, and I walked away from something the only thing that I've ever known, other than being Catholic and being from Mobile, Alabama. I walked away from wrestling just to be clean and sober, but I can honestly say 886 days of my, or yeah, 808, yeah, 8, 8, yeah, 866, yeah, 866 days clean and sober. And for someone to sit there and say that, I will congratulate any fucking buddy.
So, what's Kayla? You said you had a memory that you.
Earlier I was just, going back to like all the history and stuff, and I came across, um, it was back in WWF. It's when, your dad was part of, I guess he had gotten injured, and Kane was supposed to win the WWE title, and he kept popping up on the screen. Well, he was at home with a bandage on his head, and I guess the Undertaker. He didn't expect the Undertaker to show up. And Undertaker, did you say I forgot where you live? Did you think I forgot where you lived? And it was and it's just like looking back, bringing memories. I was like, wow, this is what we used, everything with how the storylines and stuff went with the whole Kane and Undertaker, and I just thought it was really cool just to relive that memory and stuff like that. So I had to share that because I thought it was funny. Just like it's like he was like, "Why are you here? What are you doing here?"
He really got hurt doing that.
Oh,
Remember when he was laying there and they pushed that book and that a tall
yeah.
book looking thing, it fell on his leg and he really got hurt.
Oh
But
shit!
it was some like uh I don't know if it was like some studio or if it was just like somewhere where they were recording or whatever. But they did it there, and he was laying there. And remember, it was like a wraparound couch, and
Mm-hmm.
he was laying there with his sitting in the back with his leg up, and the bookcase kind of came down and fell on his leg. The taker pushed it.
I have a good question. Would your dad be proud of the evolution of the wrestling world, of how much it's evolved,
Yes,
especially like
I don't think he'd be happy about it because yeah, there is problems and stuff like that going on. But then again, that Vince is gone. My dad
I
would be
think
he would be mad about that situation.
would he be happy for like Paul?
Oh, Heyman?
No, like Levesque would he be happy for
Oh,
Triple H.
oh hell yeah. He'd be wanting it to happen and stuff like that because Vince finally is falling away. I mean, it's sad to say that that there's no more big mans in WWE or whatever. But then again, you see how much what they're doing in ratings and knowing what they're doing in
Production.
yeah, what they're doing in money wise and stuff like that too.
It's like crazy, especially that new SmackDown, especially going on to Netflix.
Oh yeah, Yeah, it's going to, instead of it being CM Punk, it's going to be CM Fuck.
Or
Seth fucking Rollins.
Yeah, yeah. When he comes back, he's going to be Seth fucking Rollins.